Hey Misfits, welcome to another snapshot. Today we're talking about a game called Tolerance. Now this game is actually going to be on GameFound soon, but we got sent an early copy here to take a look at. Now it was definitely a game that kind of caught my eye, largely because of the subtitle. It's called Tolerance, 16th Century England from Tudors to the Reformation. That is a big subtitle, wouldn't you say, Misfit Tom? That like you're like
that confused me a
bit. So now we're not super big on religious games generally, but we were kind of like,
and we know nothing about British history.
Well, I know actually quite a bit about British history, so I know a bit about this, but like generally I'm not like it's like what. So we took a look at it and found out it's actually a trick-taking game, and that's actually very interesting. They use the themes of religion to kind of introduce all these tricks into a trick-taking game. That's the best way I can put it. So let me explain. Everybody comes with a starting card, and you have your living Catholics, living Protestants, and then you have your neutrals. Now, there are 3 rounds of this game. You play to 12 tricks each round. Now, each round, the neutrals will count as the prevailing religion. So round 1, I believe it's Catholic. Then the second round is just neutral. And then the last round is Protestant. So basically what happens is when you have cards that you collect, they go into the prevailing religion if it happened to be neutral. Now, everybody gets 12 cards. And like most trick-taking games, and if you haven't played them, they all play a similar way. Basically, everybody starts with a suit, and everybody else has to follow in that suit because that is going to be the winning suit. Other games will add different layers on, different mechanics on to kind of mix it up a little bit. We did a review on American Psycho. That was a game that added murder, tricks to the game and its own murder mechanic. And the Mission's a card game that's also very popular for trick taking, things like that. So what this does, it adds little aspects on where each of the cards have like their own triggers. They belong to different suits, of course. There is a clergy, there is peasants, there's nobles, and basically they have a suit order, so that way when people trade it, and basically everybody will play a card and start out the trick, and once you resolve it, you resolve in not only numerical order, highest wins, but also in suit order. So let's say, for example, I start out and I play Catherine de Medici. Okay, she has her own triggers here. She has 4 points, basically 3 money, and she will do a trigger and effect basically as she goes down the line. I believe she tries to convert these two into her own religion, which is Protestant. So you play a bailiff, let's say, and then we'll play this and that. Now, what happens is each player will play one of these cards. Now, the thing about trick-taking games is if they have the suit, they have to play it from their hand. So if I play, like, say, Catherine Medici, they can't really play these cards if they have another of that suit in hand. So they'd have to play, say, like the Executioner. The only times you don't have to play that is if you don't have that suit in hand, you will play another suit. Because essentially you're kind of losing. Because the person who started the suit is going to win if you don't have a card of that suit that's higher. However, there are some tricks to this. You'll have things like Executioners who might kill people. And if they have a higher number, they will actually trigger sometimes before cards act, and they might kill that person. That kind of happens in the Middle Ages, just a little bit, right?
Well, I think they died all the time.
Yeah, they were getting killed all the time. So a lot of times in trick-taking games, you're going to see these other suits come out, but you'll have a couple that won't trigger them. So say I put a Catherine de Medici, then someone puts out a deceitful lover and a bailiff and executioner. So the suit that wins is the nobles. Now, you still have to go down in numerical order. So the first one that's going to trigger, though, is going to be this wild. Now, when a wild plays, you have to choose the suit that it's in. So you're going to choose that suit anyway. So it's going to be that. That's going to be the winning card. They do give you quick cards I will add on for all the suits and what they mean. So we have, clergy, townsfolk, peasants, and just wild. And when you play wild, of course, you got to pick a suit that it goes to because it is a trick-taking game after all. So you'll trigger, for example, the bailiff first. He's the highest number in the suit. And he'll collect taxes. And then you'll look at the other cards and you'll collect the coin, basically coin number, the amount of coins listed on the card. You have 1, and for here you'd have -1. And then for this one, Catherine gives you a nice hefty 3. So you add it all together, of course, you collect 3. Bailiff doesn't collect from himself. Then you go to the next one, you get Catherine de Medici. She collects piety. Now, piety is basically points in this game. and she will get piety from other nobles and from clergy. So you look at the other living, the ones that haven't been killed in the order, and you'll say, okay, cool. She's going to get -3 piety from this deceitful lover. That's not good. You're going to collect 2 from the executioner, and you can collect 1 from the bailiff, because the bailiff counts as that suit. So you're going to get actually 0 piety from that. Next, you're going to go to the deceitful lover. She doesn't have any triggers whatsoever. So basically, she's not terribly helpful. And then you're going to go to the executioner. Now he's a fun bag of tricks here. He's going to collect piety actually from both nobles and from peasants. Now the nobles obviously are going to give him piety, but nice thing is he's going to get. I forgot. Catherine did count herself, so actually she got a nice 4. So you actually are getting 4 total points. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to get a total of 4 points because Catherine has 4 points. These both even out. So you're going to add up all those points. They go on your scorecard here. Now you have to look here though on what kind of what is the word? They're Protestant Catholic. What?
Yeah, what their religion is.
What their religion? Well, I mean they're all Christians, but basically like what flavor of religion they are. So you have neutral, you have Catholic and Protestant. Well, the neutrals are going to go for the prevailing religion in the first round, which is Catholic. So these are going to count as Catholic. So you're going to get points basically based on this in the Catholic section. And then her points are going to go in the Protestant section. So you have these little scoring sections here that you basically put your points in. And that's how you score. And this kind of keeps going around like that. Everybody's going to play cards. The person who won the trick is going to start off again, play the first card. And then it's going to go around again for each of the players, and it's going to keep going around and around like that. Now, there are different kinds of triggers. A lot of the cards have different things. Not only do you get money and score points, but you also have different triggers like executing different cards. And I'm actually surprised the execution doesn't have that on there, but they have different notations on what the different triggers are. And you can see there's a kill notation on there. So some cards will literally kill, and for example, like this one, you'll have a kill, and that's the greatest piety card. So for example, if he was on the board and he was 9, the Ravisher would kill like Catherine de Medici because she's the highest piety card. So there's a lot of things that can go on, and if you have a higher card that kills a lower card before it could trigger, it doesn't count, like it's never existed. So people can kind of sneak in things there to mess with you, like for example, the deceitful lover. The person who's going to play this into the trick knows he's not going to probably win the trick, especially if they already started with a Catherine. So he's going to drag the points down, basically. You're going to put this in here like, well, good luck collecting -3 points off of that, you know what I mean? And so it just kind of messes, it's a way to mess with people that even though they win the trick, they can have the points they get from the trick completely hampered by other people because everybody's going to play something, at least in that suit if they have it, to mess with them. And that's the whole game. You'll basically go around, collect points in those different areas, collect money, which are all money at the end of the game, which are all points at the end of the game. And then you do 3 rounds, 12 tricks, and game is done. It's a very interesting game. They do add on a different thing though as well, a different flavor. Which early on, the first game you have a balanced character, which basically doesn't give anybody an advantage. But they actually also added characters on, and I've seen other games kind of sort of do this. But for trick-taking games, I don't see this as much. But you have different abilities, like different conversions for different characters. They have, this one, Juba. And the interesting part is they also give a bit of background on all this stuff. But they give you different conditions. Things are going to score differently for these guys. Like this one has each deceased Protestant gives them a point and stuff like that. So, I mean, they add a lot of ways to play in this game. I do say the art is very nice, very cool looking, medieval art, obviously. It just definitely looks like something that might be printed in the Middle Ages, It just has that flavor to it. They did a very good job of
they
capturing.
All look like they should be in a medieval art exhibit.
Yeah, they just look very nice. And I honestly, despite not really jiving with the theme for me anyway, I like the fact that they kind of added on a mechanic here, like a trick-taking mechanic, that kind of, it actually looks like, if anybody knows me, I'm not a huge, I'm not a huge fan of trick-taking games, honestly. I've tried a lot of them. I'm just not a huge fan of them. But this looks like one I can actually kind of play. But honestly, it's very, very cool. I think they did a really good job, especially encapsulating a very interesting part of history and making it into a very interesting trick-taking game. And even, regardless of the theme, history is very important. Learn more about it, okay, guys? Regardless of what kind of history, learn more about it. But yeah, check it out, guys. Tolerance, 16th century England from Tudors of Reformation. I might suggest maybe making the subtitle a little short. It is very interesting how they do that. But yeah, check it out. If theology and religion is kind of in your wheelhouse as far as themes go for your games, and even if it's not, if you really like trick-taking games, I like the mechanics they're putting forth for this trick-taking game. It's going to be on GameFound in March. When is it? March? In March. Yeah. Check it out, guys. We'll give the links below, of course, as always. As always, leave some comments what you think about it. If you're into trick-taking games, what kind of trick-taking games that you like. I love answering those kind of comments, as always. And again, thanks for attending our snapshot, guys. As always, of course, I'm going to convert you all to the Misfit religion. Game on.